Hi everyone, this is Huang Laosher here, and I'm going to talk to you today about the ba construction. First of all, as you see here that we have the Chinese name for the ba construction, and this is simply ba zi ju, literally the ba word sentence. And you might remember that the word ju is the word for sentence in Chinese. Ba zi ju. The word ba in Chinese essentially means like to take something. And we're going to be using this to describe taking something and doing something to it. Now this sentence pattern is going to be a little tricky because we've been used to doing things that are in a subject, verb, object pattern that's very similar to English. So if I say, I finished my homework, I is a subject, finished, and finished doing is the verb, and homework is our object. But when you want to say something like this in Chinese, you have to change the order of it a little bit. So what I've done here is I've created a little pattern for you to show how the ba construction works. So you're going to start out with a subject, okay? And so as I said before, it could be something like I or we or you or whomever. And then after that, you're going to follow up with your ba. Okay, there's our word ba right here. And then after that, you have to have a definite noun. Now, what I mean by a definite noun is we're talking about the thing in question, the something, or this or that thing. It's going to be very specific what you're going to be talking about, and not just anything. And I'll give you some more examples of that in a second. And then after that, we have our main verb. And then after that, we have something else. And there's actually 6 different things of something else. So I'm going to leave that relatively undefined for now. But as we see some examples, it'll become clearer to you. Okay, so let's jump right in and take a look at our first example sentence. So let's read through this really quickly. 我们把今天的功课做完了. Okay, so stop and think about this for a second and see if you can make any guesses of what you think this means. And before I tell you what this means, let's analyze it a little bit. So I want you to stop and figure out what's the subject of this sentence. Okay, you're right if you said that 我们 is a subject, and I'll mark that with the letter S, we. Okay, then of course here's our word ba, and for all of these screens I'm going to mark ba with red. Now what I want you to do is I want you to figure out what the definite object is, and it's always going to follow the ba. So take a look and see if you can figure out what that is. And if you said the object is 今天的功课, today's homework is our definite object, you would be correct. Now, I'm saying that this is definite because we're not talking about any old homework. We're not talking about the homework you did yesterday or the homework that's due next week, but the homework they have to do today, that's specific to what thing we're talking about, and that would make sense to follow as the object of the ba. Okay, after that, most times you're going to find the verb. So take a look. What's our verb? You're correct if you said that that's 做, the word to do. And then the rest of the sentence is our something else. 完了. But you'll know that the word 完, to finish, is itself a verb. And this is one of those VR patterns, one of those verb result patterns, to finish doing something. And then we just have 了 at the end as a completed action. So now we can probably figure out the sentence. 我们把今天的功课做完了. We finished doing today's homework. Or if you want to think of it this way, let's do it word by word. We took today's homework and did it until it was finished, completed action. And that's kind of how the pattern works in Chinese. Okay, take a look at one more sentence. This one's a little tricky because the subject might not be really clear at first, but let's take a look at it. 请把这本书给张老师. Okay, so the first thing I want to ask you is, what is the subject? Because it's not really apparent. Well, think first. What's the word 请? Well, 请means please, and it's clear that when we use 请, it's a request or a command that you do something. So really, the word 你 is just left out here. We could put it in here. We could put the word you in here. Please, would you do something? And that's our subject. So it's an implied subject here. Okay, there's our ba. Okay, now look again. What's our definite object? Yes, it's 这本书. There's our definite object, this book. Okay, so please take this book, and then we have to look at the rest of it. Where's our verb? Okay, it's gay. And then here's our something else. We don't have another verb here like we did in our other one, but here we have 张老师, which is just simply a person. Please give it to Ms. Mathewson. So here's our next pattern, that you take a ba and your object and you give it to someone else. Okay? Compared to our first one again, where we have ba and then your thing and then a VR pattern. So I'm going to stop here, and what I'd like you to do is on your worksheet to try to figure out the first two patterns. The first one is going to have one of these VRs, and the second one is going to have one of these these give to people. And after you've done those two sentences, come back and we'll continue on with the rest of the video.